Hello everyone, this is Bloody Bananas. Welcome to a new video. In this video, we're showing you a team that has Empoleon, of course, in Open Grey League. That brought me all the way up to rank 25 of Go Battle League. If you guys didn't know, rank 25 is what we call MMR of 3500, because it's also known as Pre-Season rank 10, because that was a rank 10 requirement for Pre-Season a year ago. So I used this team. I started at around 3200 after Retro. I didn't do that well in Retro Cup because I was trying out a lot of different teams that didn't really work out for me. I was very excited to use Shadow Dragonite, but that didn't turn out to be very strong. But yeah, and then we climbed around 300 points just over 3 days. So with this team, it's actually a double steal line. I'm sure a lot of you guys know the line that's been floating around for quite a while that has Venusaur lead, Galarian Stunfisk, and Bastardon in the back. But in my team, because I want to run Empoleon, I actually swapped out the Bastardon with my Empoleon. The advantage of Empoleon is that it beats all the tanks. It's not necessarily a tank itself, it's actually kind of a tank slayer, like a pseudo fighter sort of role on this team, because Empoleon generally has a pretty good matchup against some of the tanky steel type Pokemon, right? And obviously Galarian Stunfisk is back there to serve as a bait, because this is a typical ABB line. So you have Venusaur to handle the fighters, and then you need a Galarian Stunfisk in order to bait out the fighters. So a lot of times you guys will see that I will swap out into my Galarian Stunfisk, even in very neutral scenarios. And without further ado, let's get into the battles. So here we see Alolan Ninetales. My team is actually triple good against Alolan Ninetales. So my opponent instantly swapped into Galarian Stunfisk. So what I'm going to do is try to chip it down a little bit so that I can more comfortably farm this with my own Empoleon. I do have to shield because they get to one Earthquake no matter what, but they can't bait and get to another Earthquake because we chip them. So obviously they just go for the Earthquake because they can't get to another move, right? And they probably come back in with... Actually, their Alolan Ninetales is nowhere to go, right? So they actually come out with the Azumarill, which is really good for me because we actually have a Galarian Stunfisk in the back that's very bad against this Azumarill, right? Or relatively bad. And they probably don't know we have 3 counters to Alolan Ninetales that's running Charm. Because they instantly swapped out, that's what I assumed they had. But you guys are gonna see later down, if your opponent stays in with the Ninetales, we actually would swap out with our Venusaur because we do want to draw out a potential fighter that they may have in the back. Especially when they're running Alolan Ninetales, it's very likely that they have something like a Medicham in the back, right? Alright, so here they go for a Weather Ball, which my Galarian Stunfisk totally tanks well with. They still have a Azumarill in the back, which I'm not too worried about because I still have almost a full health Venusaur. And here I just farmed down this Alolan Ninetales. And I should really just go for Earthquake here. But for some reason I'm throwing Rock Slides, probably just to extend the matchup. They actually shield, which I'm not sure why. Because there's literally 0 way for my opponent to win this game right now, right? And then they're going to try to farm me down. I still have a shield remaining, and even if I didn't have the shield here, the Ice Beam will not KO me here, so I think I just no-shield this. Unless they somehow learn Blizzard, and that's my only lose condition here. And so I just go back into my Empoleon, because if they're trying to drag out this match, I'm not sure why my opponent is still trying to win here, because I really don't think my opponent can win. We still have a shield. We're gonna get to the Frenzy Plant. We actually just farm down with our Venusaur there, and we take the win there. Alright, next game we have Umbreon. Again, neutral lead, so we have to look to swap out at some point because it's very likely they have a Medicham in the back, right? Or something that could potentially counter my back line. So I'm gonna chip it down with the Frenzy Plant, and then I'm gonna swap. If they throw their energy, I'm gonna try to catch a move. I'm gonna try to have some energy with my Venusaur, so that if we do draw the fighter, our Venusaur can handle their fighter, right? So here we do successfully catch a foul play. We are very close to a Frenzy Plant with our Venusaur, so it's very good. They're actually staying with the Umbreon, which is also a very interesting play. So they must not have a good answer to this Galarian Stunfisk, and that's generally a good sign, because that probably means they don't have a fighter in the back. And if they don't have a fighter in the back, that means your Empoleon will probably have a lot of play, right? So we do go for the Earthquake. They don't shield it. And they actually survive with 1 HP and get off a foul play, which is not ideal. But they actually swap into their own Stunfisk, and I'm going to go for an Earthquake here, EQ. We grab a shield. They actually swap into the Stunfisk, so we can actually swap out here. So we just go into our Empoleon. We do have to shield. We do have to respect the Earthquake. We do have 2 shields, so it's okay even if they bait. Because if they bait, we just throw our move a little bit faster. But because it didn't bait, I'm going to farm a little bit more and then throw my Hydro Cannon just before they are 1 Mosh shot away from the EQ. And this should take out my opponent. If they decide to shield, I'm just going to shield again and try to potentially farm down, right? So they have 1 health Pokemon Umbreon in the back, right? That could be potentially served as a sack swap later down. Here I try to CMP my opponent to the Drill Pack, so I farmed 1 Waterfall extra. And we did CMP successfully, so that was very good for me. That means I can just let my Empoleon go down. So I always try to farm a little bit more, just in case my opponent tries to make that play, right? Tries to throw immediately. Here I'm going to go for a Sludge Bomb. I'm worried that they're going to go for a swap, so obviously I have to shield this. One way to avoid opponent sack swapping into you is that you can wait to see the Vine Whip go through, which is what. Yep. So you see, I stop attacking there. I want to see the Vine Whip actually hitting me, so that I can go for this Frenzy Plant without worrying my opponent catching a move, right? And then they have Umbreon with 1 health, and that's game over. So good game to my opponent. As you guys see, neutral leads, we want to swap out just in case that we draw out a potential fighter that they may have in the back. So against the Venusaur, again, it's actually very unlikely they have a fighter in the back, because fighter and Venusaur both lose to something like Alolan Marowak or Psychic types. So, but I still try to win lead and try to draw out something like a Steel counter, perhaps, right? So I do shield the Sludge Bomb. I'm going to go for a Frenzy Plant here, hoping to KO my opponent here if he doesn't shield. Because we landed the Sludge earlier, right? So this Frenzy should be very close to KO. It's actually just 1 Vine Whip away to take out my opponent. And I'm probably going to farm up a little bit and then try to aggressively swap out. Here, we farm out to a Frenzy. We swap into our Stunfisk. Ooh, I think this is a game where we massively misplayed. Okay, so this is a very good situation for me, right? Because we have our Venusaur, that can handle this Politoed, and our Empoleon is a wall to the Pokemon in the back, Alolan Ninetales with Charm. So all I have to do is just no shield anything from my Stunfisk and hope to take it out with my Venusaur, right? So I do have a Frenzy Plant stored. All I have to do is go for a Frenzy Plant, take out a shield. If they shield, I'm gonna get off another one, right? But you guys are gonna see. I thought, because in Ultra League I played this match before, and generally a non-stab Earthquake should not KO me here, but this is Great League where things are a lot more squishier, and we actually die from that Earthquake. And then we have our Empoleon faced up against this Politoed. That was actually the only way for me to lose this game. So that was very, very, very not well played by me. So now they could actually bait me, or I have to call the bait here as well, and I didn't call the bait, so they have an Earthquake stored to actually swap out into their Ninetales. I really should commit to the farm down to at least 2 moves. I think that's my only way to win now. Even though this should be a really easy game for me, if I didn't play the way I did, I should really commit to the farm down. I don't think I could because I was going to die to 2 more charms, but that was my only way to win. Yeah, play better than me if you guys are playing my team. I'm not even going to call this my team because it's just swapping out the double steel line with Empoleon, right, to replace Bastiodon. Also because we don't have Bastiodon and we like Empoleon. But yeah, definitely play better than me. Alright, here, bad lead. That's fine. We're just going to swap out. Hoping to draw something that we can farm later with our Venusaur. So here we're against Azumarill, which is very ideal actually because we can chip this down just enough for my Venusaur to farm down later. And Venusaur with energy can really threaten a Abomasnow. Especially Shadow Abomasnow because the Sludge Bomb will almost one-hit KO. That means we guaranteed to get shields later. So they go for the Hydro Pump. So here I'm just gonna farm all the way down. We're okay tanking 1 Ice Beam, but I don't think they're gonna get to 2. So they get to the first move here, and I'm just gonna let the Ice Beam hit me because we do survive it, and I'm just gonna commit to the farm down. They actually don't even have Ice Beam, they just have Play Rough, so that's even better for me because now we just don't throw anything, and now we have 2 moves, so we can guarantee to get 2 shields. We're gonna take out this Abomasnow. I'm gonna wait to see to make sure that they do come out with the Abomasnow, and I'm gonna throw the Sludge Bomb. They did sneak in a fast move because we were trying to see what they had in the back, so we probably stopped attacking for a little bit. They actually no shield, and they had a Jellicent in the back. So we ended up winning that one very straightforward because they didn't save their Abomasnow, which was our which is their grass counter, right? All right, here we're against Lickitung. This matchup is not bad if they don't sneak in extra licks, but I don't have the best internet and I don't have the best phone model, so sometimes I do lose fast moves, and I just try to I don't even try to sync up because we should get to the next move at the same time generally, but I'm gonna try to swap 1 turn earlier. I think my opponent got to a move before I even got to my next move, so that means my opponent must have snuck 2 extra licks, and then we lagged a little bit. I'm not sure if we got to the extra, if we got to the Frenzy because of the lag, but we swap into our Galarian Stunfisk, hoping to draw out a fighter, something like a Medicham, because Medicham or DD with that Pokemon with XL Lickitung is very common, right? So we're gonna no shield this. Even if they take me out, I'm just gonna try to take it out with my Venusaur. My opponent actually shielded my first EQ. Do they shield here again? They actually shield again. Okay, so now I have a lot more play. The reason being, I'm only 1 Vine Whip away from my Venusaur, even with the lag. We should be able to Vine Whip without the lag, right? But I just swap in their bubble animation. We get to this Frenzy Plant, and this is going to do massive amount of damage to this Azumarill. And that damage is going to be really, really important for us later on. They should have a Marowak in the back, and they now don't have a swap. That means I can safely come into my Empoleon. I can safely shield this. Actually, this is a Bone Club, so I don't think I shield. Yeah, they threw after 4 Fire Spins, so I just don't shield the Bone Club. I don't want to tank the next one, so we throw Hydro Cannon to take out my opponent here. And then we still have a shield remaining in case they do get to a Power Whip with the XL Lickitung, right? And also we have a little bit of HP left on our Pokemon in the back. It would be a little bit concerning if my opponent got to 1 more move after this, and if my opponent caught a move, that will also be very bad. Oh god, my opponent does catch a move, which is terrible for me. But fortunately, we also have a little bit of health remaining. Our Stunfisk and our Waterfall will put out a lot of pressure, so my opponent can't farm me down, right? They have to throw. If we survive this Body Slam, it will be very good, but I don't think we do. But we might just get 1 one-shot to KO my opponent, and which we do survive with 1 HP as well. My opponent got off 2 licks, which weren't enough to take me out. Okay, alright, against a Venusaur, Sorry about the visual lag. There was something with the download, I think. But Venusaur, I like to go for the sludge bombs, like you guys saw before. And I try to win this lead matchup even if I'm going down a shield, because I do want to preserve my Venusaur in case they have a fighter, even though it's unlikely they have a fighter. So we try to sack swap to catch a sludge bomb, but my opponent was too smart and held on to his energy. So now I think we have to give up a shield here. Fortunately my opponent is in rock slide range, so I'm just gonna go for rock slides here. Just one turn before they get to one Vine Whip, before they get to their Frenzy Plant. This forces a shield from my opponent, and they're not swapping out, meaning that they're weak to my Stunfisk, and that's a good sign when they're not swapping out, because that means they're weak to Stunfisk, so they're most likely weak to Empoleon as well, right? But let's see what I do here. If they have a flyer, that would be very good. Let's see, I'm going to let this go and try to farm down with my own Venusaur now. Probably no shield this sludge bomb because we do survive. And then I'm just looking to Vine Whip this opponent Venusaur all the way down here. That should go into their own Galarian Stunfisk. They got 2 Must Shots, so I think I'm going to go into my own Empoleon and just trying to farm all the way down. Okay, I definitely miscounted there because he only did 2 extra, right? So, okay, I'm going to swap into my Empoleon here because I'm thinking that he dumped out his energy, so I get to farm him down before he even get to the EQ. This is 6 Must Shots, which is not enough to an Earthquake. You need 8, and he was going to die when he gets to the 8th Must Shot. So he definitely couldn't get to the Earthquake. And we get perfect farm. And they actually had a Pelipper in the back. So this game is definitely not over because they do have a Venusaur. I have to watch out for a sack swap by my opponent. Let's see. I'm gonna try to throw, but because the turn was desynced, I think I didn't get to throw. So we avoided the catch from my opponent, which was very good for me. And then I get this Drill Pack off. That was probably a CMP tie because my opponent was trying to take me out before we get to the move. This is okay though because we're very close to another move, right? Or they're extremely low and they die to 1 Vine Whip. And we're able to barely take that win. That was actually a lot closer than I expected. But we were able to take that win. Alright, next game. It started out very funky. I have no idea what's going on here. I couldn't see my opponent, but I did see the Dribblim on the top right. So I swap into my Galarian Stunfisk here. You still can't see your opponent Pokemon here, but it was an icy wind because it was Dribblim. Let's see, my opponent is still staying, and then he swaps into Azumarill. And now it looks like the game is finally back to normal. We could actually see what's going on. We're going to go for this Earthquake here. We were debuffed, so it does very little damage to the Azumarill. We're going to get off another Earthquake here. So the good thing about Venusaur against Dribblim is the Frenzy Plant hits so hard. Even against a resisted Dribblim, I think it's double resisted against Dribblim, it still does around half damage. So if we can farm down this Azumarill, because I recognize our swap timer was desynced, so I actually go into my Venusaur here to get a farm advantage against their Azumarill. They still can't swap out because we swapped in, because they swapped out late, right? And they do come back in with the Dribblim, which means I'm just gonna rip all my Frenzy Plants here onto this Dribblim. I try to CMP tie my opponent. I'm not sure who actually wins the CMP, but that's what I tried. Go for this Frenzy Plant, and apparently we do win CMP. So my Venusaur has a relatively high attack compared to like rank 1, right? So makes sense. And we got a shield with one of our Frenzy Plants, so that's extremely good. We also chip down the Dribblim. We have 2 shields remaining, so obviously I'm actually going to force a shield here because they need 5 for the Shadow Ball. We also need 5 for the Hydro Cannon, right? If they want to throw their energy, they have to give up their last shield. So they do give up their last shield, and now I'm just going to shield as well in case it's a Shadow Ball. I'm okay if they hit us with Icy Wind because I can swap out here to clear my debuff. I tried to make a catch, but it wasn't really necessary because they still have to throw energy to take me out, right? Otherwise, I'm going to get to Earthquake. But they actually honor charge, which is extremely smart. But they actually have very low health. If I got off my Rock Slide there, that would be so much better. Because now I think one Hydro Cannon would be enough. So now I have to worry about if my opponent get to another move. I'm actually going to go for the Hydro Cannon. And I think they need they need to survive 3 more waterfalls in order to get to the next move, which I don't think they will. So I'm just going to go for the full farm down with my Empoleon to take out the Registeel. And we have so much health. We also have pretty much a full move here. We're going to go for the Hydro Cannon just kind of show our opponent who's the real boss here, who's the real water Pokemon around here. And then 1 more waterfall should take out my opponent, dribble him. And that's a good game. Very close. Very funky start. Alright, Swampert. I do want to talk about this lead. Because whenever you see a Swampert, they have a Skarmory in the back, right? And the beautiful thing about having a Skarmory in the back is that it doesn't matter what their third Pokemon is. Once you take out that third Pokemon, your Empoleon can sweep with a shield advantage. So I get a shield with my Venusaur against the Sableye. I'm fine losing switch advantage here because I know they must have a Skarmory. Whenever you see Swampert, they probably have a Skarmory. And then your Empoleon up shields can easily handle both Pokemon, right? So I'm just going to go for straight Earthquake. I want to get the last shields, or I'm going to win switch advantage, which is also fine with me. They actually double shield because they do recognize that they're going to win switch advantage if they double shield and if I don't shield myself. So I also have to get off a Rock Slide here in order to chip down my opponent Sableye here. But I'm giving up switch advantage. I have 2 shields. They have 0. And we have Empoleon versus whatever they have in the back, right? And since I lost switch advantage, I know that my Venusaur is never going to match up against the Swampert. So I might as well just give it up, right? It's serving as 3rd and 4th shield there, basically, because my opponent threw both foul plays on this Venusaur. And now, you know, they don't get to have their Skarmory matched up against my Venusaur. And I just have a shield for my Empoleon here with 2 shields. And what is my opponent going to do here? He brings out Swampert because he knows that we wall the Skarmory. And that's a beautiful thing about Swampert. Oh, I mean, that's a beautiful thing about Empoleon. It's not really that weak against the Mud Boys because you do hit neutral back to them as well. So that's one advantage of Empoleon versus Bastiodon, right? And like we expected, they do have a Skarmory in the back. And the beautiful thing about this matchup is you go for 1 Hydro Cannon, and then you can just farm this down, and you get off another Hydro Cannon to the Pokemon in the back, right? There was a little bit of lag, but my opponent was throwing energy and no fast moves went through on either side. And now I'm just going to try to farm this all the way down. He should die with the move right here. And then I have a Hydro Cannon stored. I could probably throw in the Drill Peck here and the results will be the same. So, yep, that goes to show the power of Empoleon in the end game, especially against the Swampert Skarm core if you're up a shield, right? Alright, Ninetales, it's a good lead, but we're going to look to swap out. I think I play this a little bit different every time. I think the right play should be save a Frenzy Plant and then swap out. But I actually go for a Sludge Bomb because I'm hoping that they shield, right? Otherwise we would take it out. My opponent does shield, so I'm going to try to catch their Weather Ball, but I was supposed to be able to swap out there, but I only did 1 Vine Whip, and they did 1 Charm, and they threw, which is not very scientific. That should not happen, but sometimes the desync gets you, right? So that's fine, because they actually swapped out themselves into their Marowak, and we do have a very good counter to this Marowak. In our Empoleon, I'm gonna throw when they get to the Bone Club here to see if they want to shield, right? If they shield, I think I will actually match shield, but they don't shield. Are they gonna come out with the low Ninetales and try to charm us all the way down? They do. Charm does so much damage that they're gonna actually charm us down in 3 more fast moves. That's insane. Alright. So now we go into our Stunfisk because they do have they're very close to a move, and I don't want to have to shield as my Venusaur, right? And Stunfisk is a very good counter against this Pokemon. So I go into Stunfisk. I go for this Rock Slide. I make a massive misplay here. I should definitely farm a little bit more because they're super far away from their next move. They actually had a Medicham in the back. Wow, okay. I made this game super close here. Wow, if I just over-farmed, I would have probably an Earthquake coming out of that matchup, and this game would be so much more easier. Because now I actually have to shield a pup, right? Yeah, I shield a Power-Up Punch because I need to get off my Frenzy Plant. If I don't shield that, I think it was going to be a very close call. But at least we got the Frenzy Plant off, and now we need a Rock Slide. I think they're just barely in Rock Slide range, and we have to survive the counter damage plus this Power-Up Punch, which is going to be very, very difficult. But we do get to our Rock Slide here, just barely. If they threw the Psychic, it might be a little bit different, but I don't think the Psychic was going to KO anyways. But so we barely win that. A little bit of misplay on my side. Alright, Deoxys. This is a very interesting matchup because they can always Psycho Boost and dip, which is not ideal for me. They actually have a desync there, so they started attacking first, and there was no way for us to catch. So they go for a Psycho Boost, and then they're going to dip out into their own Shadow Venusaur. I don't have a direct response to a Shadow Venusaur, so I'm going to throw my Sludge Bomb here. They actually no shield, so I'm going to try to get off my Frenzy Plant here, hoping to grab a shield. That's unfortunate that we have to shield here against the Sludge Bomb. I do want to preserve my Venusaur in case they have something like a fighter, right? I get off a Frenzy Plant here, and now I can't stay in here. I have to try to make a catch, and I have to catch the Sludge Bomb here. We do get the shield, and I'm going to swap here, saving the Frenzy Plant for us. And we catch it just in time when they get to the Sludge Bomb, and we're able to catch it. That was extremely important for this matchup. And now we go for this Rock Slide. Does this take out my... Probably my opponent actually shields, so he must be really, really weak to my Stunfisk, right? And that's a good sign because that means my Empoleon has good play. They get out of Frenzy, which is actually a very good play by himself because that way he puts me just in farm down range from the DD, and then he can farm me all the way down, coming out with a lot of energy, right? But the thing is, we also saved the move on our Venusaur, so all his energy that he farmed is all going to waste here because this Frenzy Plant is going to KO. So it doesn't matter if he had all the energy for Psycho Boosts because we just took it out. And now we have two very healthy Pokemon against their Pokemon that's not very healthy. They actually have a Dewgong in the back. So I know that I get to the Frenzy Plant before they get to the Icy Wind. So I'm just going to throw this Frenzy Plant before they get there, and I'm going to swap into my Empoleon, which is pretty much a super hard counter against a Dewgong, and there's nothing my opponent can do. So my opponent gives up the match. But yeah, like you guys are seeing here, this is one of the recordings for my final sets where we reached 35-48. As the time of making this video, if the leaderboard were to refresh right now, I would be in top 50. But because the leaderboard always goes up after a day, so I don't think we will actually be in top 50 tomorrow when the leaderboard officially refreshes. I think we'll probably be a top 100 at least with this team, with Empoleon. Yeah, I think Empoleon has play in this format. But to be real, I think Bastiodon in a lot of ways is probably better than Empoleon, but they serve different purpose, right? Bastiodon is so much more tankier and does much better against the flyers, but Empoleon is a tank killer, right? Empoleon absolutely destroys a lot of the tanks, so we're actually using it kind of like a pseudo fighter here, right? And also it's very good against some of the water Pokemon that we see, the Mud Boys. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely give this team a try because I think it's pretty good. You just have to keep in mind that you want to bait out a fighter if you think they have a Medicham in the back perhaps, or if they have something like a Toxicroak, or if they have the Oxys, you want to bait out those fighters so that your Empoleon can actually finish off the game, right? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed these battles. I hope you guys enjoy the season so far. I think I'm gonna most likely stop my season at this point, because we did get above 3,500, which was kind of a goal that I was looking for to finish at. 3548, that's totally fine by me. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in my next video, probably around Candle Cup.